This week's gun is the Wiley Clapp Colt Commander, rendered in stainless steel. Now, many of you may not be familiar with Wiley Clapp, but I sure am. He's a dear friend of mine, and he's been a field editor for American Rifleman since the middle 1990s. Before that, Wiley worked on Guns and Ammo. He worked on Handgunning Magazine and Gun World. But even before that, Wiley Clapp was a young Marine infantry officer in Vietnam. And after that, he was a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy. Wiley is a guy who really knows handguns, and he's written about them for most of his life. Finally, manufacturers started to realize this is a guy who knows something about guns. And Colt has its entire Wiley Clapp 1911 series, and the latest one that I have is the all-stainless model of Colt's classic Commander. Now, Wiley's got some very definite opinions about guns, and frankly, on a defensive handgun, and that's what this is intended for, is a defensive arm. He includes everything you need and nothing you don't. Now, this is a stainless steel version of the Commander. You have a stainless slide and, of course, a stainless frame. Now, Wiley wants you to hold on to your gun, and the way he does that is by having Pete Single checker 25 line per inch checkering into the front strap. This is not an easy process, and it's not an inexpensive process, but when you get into this checkering on the front strap, you can really hold on to the gun. On the back of the gun is a Smith & Alexander 20 line per inch flat mainspring housing, and then of course you have a beaver tail with a memory bump, and it protects the web of your hand very well, and of course you have a Commander style hammer. Now, of course, this latest Wiley Clapp gun is a Commander. That means it has a 4 1/4 inch barrel as opposed to a full 5 inch of the government model, but it does have a full-size frame. So this magazine in particular can take 8 rounds of 45 ACP. Now, of course, this gun is a 45 ACP, and it's a single action like most Colts. This gun has Series 70 lock work. It doesn't have the Series 80 or 90 more complicated lock work that, frankly, doesn't give you as good a trigger pull as the Series 70. Another thing that Wiley is very serious about are the stocks on his handguns. And these, of course, are the tactical oval stocks made by Altamont in Illinois, specifically to Wiley's specification. If you look at these grips, the stock panels themselves are thicker at the back than they are at the front, and there's only checkering where your fingers engage the gun. So when you come across to this side, you can see your fingers come across, and you've got checkering there, but then up here high, it's nice and smooth, which of course helps with drawing from concealment. Another thing that Wiley takes very seriously, of course, are sights. You have to be able to see your sights to hit your target. He's a longtime friend of gunsmith Wayne Novak, and we have a set of Novak low-mount rear sights with a fairly wide opening here at the back. And this, of course, is a sight that's dovetailed into the back of the slide. Loosen the set screw, you can move your windage adjustment. Now on the front, of course, it's dovetailed in as well. The thing that Wiley really has a problem with on 3-dot sights is when all 3 dots look exactly the same. So what he's done here is put an 0.77 inch wide brass bead into the back of the front sight. So when you come up, there's no doubting what's the front sight and what's the rear. Now Wiley, of course, put these practical features on the gun so you don't have things like a full-length guide rod. If you look here, of course, you have a standard barrel bushing. But what this gun is a culmination of really a guy who knows a lot about handguns. All of his thought processes when it comes to selecting a defensive firearm went into this gun. And of course, you can get it today from Colt. For more on guns like this, go to Colt.com.